Hi guys, thanks for joining me. So this is the finale of the Academy 1/72 Tempest Mark V that I was doing as a buddy build with James. But before I show you the build, I just want to show you a couple of things that I did to, one was to enhance, well I feel, enhance the kit. The other one was obviously a necessity, because if you look here you can see the de-icing patch, whatever you call it, on the leading edge of the wing there. Now on the Airfix kit I think this was a decal, but on this kit it's not supplied, so I had to mask and paint that. But the other thing that I did was, you see the walkway that's here. Now I don't like the decals that are provided as part of that. Two reasons. One, you can get bad silvering around the edge of the decal. Second thing is it's just a very flat surface, and I'd much rather have some kind of texture to it. So let me just show you what I did for those particular parts. So what I did was I photocopied the anti-skid patch from the decals and I laid this on top of some Tamiya tape, and I was going to use this as the template for the mask. So I carefully cut round the shape, and then I removed the inside so that we were left with this template. So here you can see the template in position, and I had to make sure that one side of it was narrow enough so that it would fit against the fuselage of the aircraft, but the actual patch would be in the right location. And then what I did was I just dry brushed some of the Corvus black to get the shape, and then whilst the template was still down I carefully painted the whole area to get the result I wanted. Peeling off the template I was left with this anti-skid patch, and as I say, because of the paint it gave it a bit more of a texture, and I hadn't got to worry about silvering around the edge of the decal, so I was well chuffed with this. And I did it on the other side as well. So this photo shows some of the tape that Steve Mottram recently gave me, and I've used it to get the edge for the upper wing, and I did exactly the same on the lower wing. And then what I did was I dry brushed some white in that area, and then I added yellow over the top. Once I was happy that it was nicely painted, I removed the tape. I did this whilst the paint was still wet because I didn't want it to dry, only for me to start pulling paint off at the same time. So here it is guys, complete, and I must admit that I quite like the look of the finished result. There are one or two things that are niggling me a bit, but you know, the overall look of the build is one that I'm happy with. Would I build this kit again? There's two answers to that, yes and no. Yes, I would build it again because it's a really nice kit to put together. No, I won't build it again because I've already got one, so there's no need for me to build a second one. I really like the way the camouflage turned out on this one. You can see the walkways there, and that's how the masking that I produced managed to provide a better result, I thought. I could have weathered those a bit, but apart from the panel lining and the toning down of the actual camouflage with a sludge wash, I haven't done any other weathering on this build. The leading edges there for the de-icing paint, really happy with the way that turned out as well. So yeah, I mean, with the de-icing paint, what I did was I painted the strip white first, and then I painted it with flat yellow from Vallejo. The anti-slip strip that you see there below the cockpit, that was painted with Games Workshop's Corvus black, which is one of my go-to paints at the moment. The wheels are also painted in Corvus black. So were there any issues with this build? Not really. You know, everything's gone in the right place. As you know, I did have that issue early on when I was putting the fuselage into the wings, where the tension at the wing root was sufficient to pop the seam, but once that was clamped and glued overnight, that wasn't an issue. I did lose some of the detail on the nose in front of the cockpit, but all I did was rescribe those lines, so you know, I got those back. The canopy, a bit disappointed with that. I am lousy at masking off canopies, and what I did with mine, James put his on as he was doing the camo painting and whatever. I left mine off until the last minute. It's not the best masking job, and the other thing is I managed to get 2 blobs of glue on the inside the canopy as well. But it's another one that can go on my shelf. Many years ago I wanted to do every British aircraft that had served in World War II in 1/72 scale, and this was one of those that I hadn't got. What I'll just do now is I'll get her sister, the Typhoon, and we'll just put those together to see what they look like. So here are the 2 aircraft together, and the Typhoon I built a while back, and I'm really pleased to have both types now on my shelf. The Typhoon's usually on a stand and it's got a pilot figure. Looking at the Typhoon, I thought that I'd hand painted that one, but it looks quite thin. There's still quite a bit of panel lines left in the detail there, so perhaps I did airbrush it, one of my other attempts. I think I'm getting on with the airbrush a bit better. It doesn't seem to be such a pain to set it all up and whatever these days, so I may do more builds using it. As you know, I did the Churchill in it, and I've just done the Tempest in it, and I'll see if I can do the Destroyer in it as well, and possibly the Japanese submarine. But I just want to thank James again for joining in on this with me. I think now I will go back to working on the Destroyer. Thanks ever so much for watching, guys. Thanks for all the encouraging support. I really do appreciate it. I hope your week is going well, and I'll catch up with you soon.